What the hell, ugly? I'd be careful.
Twitch is being weird. It's not a black screen on my end at least. So that's neat. I'll just double check here. If I load up Twitch, it says live on my end here. It does have trouble loading, but it does say live. It's my audio. This is annoying. I am not sure what to say about this. Twitch is having a stroke. Hey, it's working now. Great. So that solves one of our problems. The problem being that, you know, the problem being that stream doesn't work. There we go. But now we have another problem. That is, our competitor has yet to show up. Oh, he has responded in Discord. So that means the competitor is here at least? So we'll see if he gets in here in time, and then I'll do my best to professionally commentate the matches and show that I have a bias against the character Hopper. Against, not with. So Hopper sucks, and I hope Chip wins just because Undead Dino plays Hopper. I love the fact that for small things like this, I can be as unprofessional as I wish to. But when we get in game, I will do my best to give a good casting experience, regardless of Hopper or not. Okay, I hope Dino wins this match here. Now I'm confused. I don't know if I want Dino to win or not. There's a 25% chance right now. We'll see what happens. I'm saying that because it's an ancient character. Well. Looking forward to Chip getting in here. Ping him again because we need to annoy him. Oh, I love when people are like, I swear to God, then you just answer, do not swear around me, that's unacceptable behavior. I will turn off fun mode in a bit once Chip from space joins the room, and once that happens, we'll see how it goes in the match between Dino and Chip from Space. Both of them are good player. Chip is very well known for being an absolute veteran on the scene. He doesn't play as much as he used to. He played a lot during the old alpha days of Tooth and Tail, and he got a lot of skill in during those days, but will his talents keep going? Has he kept training in secrets? Or will Dino, the more new experienced player with all the lizards and fun stuff, win this game? We'll see what happens once Chip exists in this chat. Well, not in this chat, more like in this game. I am sorry for the delay, but I cannot basically stop. I cannot make Chip suddenly appear. So who's actually watching now? I'm curious. Boomer versus Gen Z. That's pretty much what's going on right now. This is Boomer versus Gen Z. The Boomer versus Gen Z of Tooth and Tail, at least. But yes, there will be high-level gameplay, hopefully. I hope that Chip won't stomp. Or that Dino will stomp. I want to see some really good gameplay between the two, and I'm looking very much forward to seeing how they'll carry out their strategies. And it's gonna be interesting. Chip is just being extraordinarily slow. I'm gonna complain and ping him again for being 17 minutes late now. Good for him I'm not the tournament TO, because that would have been a game loss. Not a match loss, and since we're playing a Gen 3, there's a difference. But I would probably have given him a game loss as a punishment for being extraordinarily slow. Jet not happy with this. Jet does not approve. And now he's like, it's annoying. He's claiming that he's going to cheese 2 games in a row. We'll see about that. Gonna bully him some more and say, well, you have to get into the lobby for that to happen. Well, I hope you all will enjoy when the games themselves start. As of now, I can sadly not entertain you that much while we wait for Chip to show up for his matches. If 20 minutes pass, I'm gonna ping him again just to annoy him. I am sorry for the delay once more, but oh, he finally came in! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to play the first game of this tournament here. We are in round 1 here. We're gonna see Undead Dino play against Chip from Space. Of course, Undead Dino goes for his well-known lizards. He absolutely adores those. We'll see them with Ferrets and Owl, and Owl has been looking very promising this patch here. Let us see what happens between the 2 contestants, and we'll see if they're going to win to have a good game or not. Chip here, while Undead Dino opts for the lizards here, he opts more for the mole and pigeons here, which Undead Dino has just neglected to pick it all. We're gonna see probably a lot of ferrets against skunks, but a good old balloon might stop any skunk poke while allowing the ferrets to continue. But we will see how this game is carried out once Chip decides to pick his final unit and stop being slow. show must go on. And he picks the boar as a 6 unit, and the game can finally start. Very well, let's see here where they start on the map here. In the north side of the map, we have Chip from Space playing as Quartermaster. And in the bottom side here, we have Undead Dino, also known as Red Dino, starting in the bottom left here. So, very open map here, with a lot of open terrain here, near Chip especially. But Undead Dino does get a very defensive hill here he could possibly set up with, and a second mill, so this does invite for some rather defensive play. He has 3 mills in total. Down here he could use for economy, and a defensive hill he could again set up on. So with Owls, Dino might be looking at a pretty solid late game plan here. Chip does go for some very early aggression here. 5 Warren and 5 farms and 1 Warren already, forcing Dino to settle down to 6 here and go for a Warren of his own here. Probably isn't going to be much of a danger. Chip has 1 squirrel he's going to walk up and see if he can start some trouble with. But Dino has a squirrel of his own coming up slowly here. Chip is going to try and abuse this high ground here to see if he can get some poke in here with the squirrel here. But Dino has his own squirrel now, ready to answer back any attempt to fight. Dino goes for second wall while Chip stays on just 1 here and goes for his 8th farm. Chip here with still only 1 Warren goes ahead with 2 squalls and try to see if he can apply any offensive pressure here. But the Undead Dino is very well prepared for that. He has 2 Warrens against Chip's 1. And Undead Dino here is running over to try and take the fight here. He has the majority number of squirrels here. If he gets a shot in on one of the squirrels here. But I don't think he's able to start a fight here. Not at all. He's floating almost 180 through these 2 farms behind here. And he hasn't been able to really make anything happen on Chip here. Not the best start from Dino, but he does get his 8th farm now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream. Chip here is now moving ahead with 5 squirrel and a 6-1 coming out of this Warren here with the moles building in the background here. Might be looking at doing something offensive, but I don't think that'll happen with Undead Dino going for this massive amount of T1 here so far. No T2 has hit the board from either side yet, but we do have an expansion coming here from Chip. On top of that, we have a 4 Warren here. Dino's trying to fortify this hill here to get a good defensive position here so that it'll make it harder for Chip to attack here. Chip now going for the first 2-2 of the game. Skunks here, they'll be up in 20 seconds, and with some pigeons, it'll be very, very possible for Chip to pull off some pretty good old poke. Mole's coming up for Chip too to help get Tangens to the front line here. Liz is coming in here for the harass here. Dino manages to pick off a pig there, lose 1 lizard, all 3 lizard there, meaning it's mostly an even trade, but Chip will be slightly behind on economy until that farm rebuilds. Meaning that, essentially, the trade was slightly in favor of Dino there. Nice play on his part. Lots of T1, T2 coming up for Dino here. He has the ferrets coming up here, but as his ferrets now start queuing, Chip does have 2 skunks. 2 skunks can make a lot of work happen. It's not like Dino has a lot of potential to pick off any of those skunks, considering he has no lizards left. He sold his lizard one. Mana going down here, and Chip going for 4 farms now. A greedy, greedy play here, and Dino 2 will go for 2 farms so far. Against Chip selling down to 1 extra farm. Chip's now also going for the boar here, looking to get out that boar there to make some pretty big damage happen. If that boar gets out there, it'll be very hard for Dino to answer. Dino has no real big answer to the boar. Maybe the balloon that'll be unable to be targeted by its flames. But the ferret and the squirrels and the toads and the lizards all historically have not been doing quite well against the boar. Meaning that in this situation, Dino here might be looking at quite the trouble. Now he does have a small eco lead here on 3 farms. Could be significant, but Chip has just queued his boar, so in 50 seconds, the boar will be out, and we might be looking at a game ender. Skunk and ferret poke going on here. The skunks narrowly dodge some ferret shots here. But this army here cannot really engage against these skunks here. These skunks here are just making a wall of gas that makes it very hard to engage. But the Ferrets do get some shot off on the skunks. The pigeons does just heal them though, and nothing much happens. In comes the engage here. Skunks taking some damage, but they pull away, and the poke just continues from Dino here. That poke is soon to stop though. He pulls back for now. It won't be long before that boar is out, and as that boar comes out here, Chip will get a big momentum swing in his favor. He will probably be able to push in, and it'll be big trouble for Dino. Boar's up. Chip goes for 8 farms here, and now moves his army slightly forward here, up in front of his mill. Is he looking to make something happen with his boar? The boar's moving up here. 2 balloons are going up here, but they're not up yet, and Chip is already attacking before these balloons are up. And look at the massive damage to T1. The boar is taking a lot of damage. It survives though, and now here it pulls back with the pigeons able to heal it up again. Not the best of engages. Surprisingly, Dino gets a lot of damage in here, and now with 2 balloons up, he's made it significantly harder for Chip to push in with this boar. An engage happens once again. All this T1 gets caught in these flames. It's so much damage, but these balloons here manage to zone off the boar again, and the boar is having trouble getting through the 2 balloons. Boar pulls forward again, gets to burn off a ferret and a few T1 here. And here comes the engage here. The boar flames are dealing massive damage to that T1 here. The T1 is all melding away to the boar flames. Dino has no more army than just that 1 ferret and a few squalls running around now. And Chip pulls away again with a big lead here. If we look at the graphs here, army value, he's ahead. And if we look at the economy too, ahead. It's just big leads from Chip here. As long as he doesn't lose this boar here, everything will be fine. 1 balloon goes down. Lots of Gorns going down for Dino 2. The second balloon here takes damage and goes down too. The boar is now uncontested in its push towards Dino's base. Dino is suffering heavy losses here, and he will quit the game. And so, game 1 goes to Chip. It is 1-0 to Chip from space. Good game 1 from Chip here, and he managed to bring it home with the boar against the ferret poke here of Dino. Will Dino, however, change to be a little bit more ready for it? He does change up his deck somewhat and brings snakes and falcons this time. Both units that are historically known for doing quite well against the boar. He decides also to put owls in his deck and already can. In the left side of the map here, we have Chip from space here playing as Quartermaster, and in the top right here, we have Undead Dino playing as Hopper. Much less of an open map here. We have a few choke points. We have some mills here in the middle. Chip does have... Undead Dino does again have a hill in front of his base here, but it's much harder for him to defend. He can't really build on the very edge of it, and his expansion options aren't as good as last game, but he does have a good mill here, and Chip also has a good mill here. A lot of the combat will likely be around these 2 mills here in the center and this hill here. If control of this hill can be gotten by any player, that'll be pretty good. Especially if Chip gets it, he could siege Undead Dino. 1 Warren coming up here from Chip here, who's going for the early Squall Warrens. Early double Squall Warren. And Dino so far only has 1 Squall Warren to his name to defend himself from the double Squall Menace. These Squalls are rushing now already now. Undead Dino here is building his 2nd Squall Warren. He's gonna be a little bit behind an army here. Will it be enough to defend from Chip's, right now, superior army of double the amount of Squalls? Chip's scouting ahead here, seeing 2 Warrens. Is he gonna go for it? There's 2 here, Squalls are moving in here. 1 Squall goes down for Undead Dino here. The pig is taking damage from the other one. 1 pig goes down here for only 2 Squalls. That means that this trade here is not that bad for Chip. Chip actually manages to get in here and get a pretty good trade again. And Undead Dino here is on the back foot as Chip manages to get some very early good aggression going against the Dino here. 1 farm down. Chip now has all 8 farms of his build, and he's retreating here. He's now just sitting back here, farming, and no longer willing to really engage with Dino. Dino's commanders go down here, and as the commander goes down, Chip moves up with his army, trying to see if he can get any value out of the situation, but no. Dino's now on the back foot. He's behind economically by 2 farms, with Chip here now slowly evening out the army too. Meaning that if we look here, Chip here, not even that far behind an army, and on income he's quite massively ahead. 7th farm going up for Dino here. Very well played early game from Chip, and he's going for mole squirrel combination so far. Is this a fight happening here? Nope. The 2 of them are just poking and looking for any weakness in their opponent's defenses. Dino's now going for his 8th farm here, and he's going to start evening out that eco, but remember, Chip has had more farm time. He has had more opportunity, and that does show in the army sizes, with Chip having slightly bigger army now with moles in it. He's moving forward here with his moles, looking for any good engages to take here. Dino's ready here. The engage happens here. The moles run in here. They take down one of the warrants here. All the moles are now down here, and they're going to be fighting the squirrels here. Dino is just not looking hot in the situation here. The advantage Chip has here, just 3 tier 1 advantage here, translate into a win here. He takes down 3 farms so far, and this is looking very, very bleak for Dino as Chip pulls away with a massive 3 farm advantage and a huge army lead. Let's have a look at the graphs here. You see income, huge, and so big that Dino just decides to quit the game, and Chip takes it 2-0. Some very, very well played aggression from Chip here. He manages to do quite well. Congratulations to Chip for winning the first match of the tournament. How was that watching, people? What do you think of that?
Comment threads and Twitter.
Don't just ignore that. I'm just looking around on my medium thing. But yes, very well played here from Chip. He has a very aggressive early game style, and it's not a lot of the time you will see people going for anything but 8 farms. But Chip manages to just make 1 warren, and then he manages to sneak up a 2nd warren and get that early aggression going there. He's very, very dangerous to underestimate there. And it will definitely take proper scouting, or you will be punished by the early game aggression from Chip himself. Very well played here. We'll be waiting here for match 2, and I will check which players will be fighting it next. It's gonna be Undead Dino once more against Jacoby this time. I'll be waiting here for them to join the lobby. Undead Dino versus Jacoby. Both of them are known for being less than meta players, especially Dino loves talking about lizards all the time. You saw him bring the lizards here for game 1, but not for game 2. And in game 1, they did have a little bit of a highlight moment where they managed to take down a farm. Jacoby and Undead Dino are not ready here. It's time to get going. Let's see what happens here. Alright, let's get going. It is Jacoby versus Undead Dino. Jacoby here starts in the bottom left, playing as Archimedes, with Undead Dino in the top right here as Quartermaster, playing on a good old high ground mill here. Very nice. As you can see here, this both players have access to a pretty close expansion to the base, but this middle field here has 3 mills that are likely to be fought over. But Jacoby has this expand that could possibly be a rather safe bird, with Undead Dino going for this as their safe bird. But a player might opt to, ooh, what an aggressive starting warren coming from Dino here. Looks like that if Jacoby doesn't answer, he has 8 farms, Jacoby. He has not seen the warrens. He does sell 1 farm now. This might be too late. There is a squirrel up here. The second one is coming soon here. Jacoby is not prepared for this attack here. He has to sell the warren and move it further back because the squirrel is going to pressure it. Now 2 squirrels are coming in here, and they might be able to just attack this pick here. 2 of them are going to attack the pick here. no defense from Jacoby yet, and thus the farm just go down, and without any losses. He has to sell the other farm too, and now Dino there, while the squalls are queuing for Jacoby, gets to take a second farm, bringing himself in with a massive lead so far. No losses and 2 enemy farms down. Jacoby here is looking to counterattack here, but it's not happening against Dino's double army size. Jacoby is at a big army and economy deficit here. He's going to go ahead here. He's going to take the fight here. He's baited in by the mine, but Undead Dino just has a superior army, and he ends up just crushing this fight completely, and Jacoby has to really quickly already surrender the game. Very well played on the early aggression from Undead Dino here with the sneaky, very aggressive Warren here. Managed him to bring him a win. And they're already going to the next game here. Jacoby now in the top side, not giving me time to rest, with Undead Dino here in the bottom side here. This here has a little bit more water on the map here, creating a few choke points here in front of Dino's base. Jacoby, however, seems to, if he can just expand to these two here, he has two rather good expansions, both on high ground and very defendable. With Dino having one here and then a second one that's kind of spread over here. So I favor Jacoby on this map here with more mill options than Undead Dino. And Undead Dino just has to kind of fight his way up this hill. However, could also happen that Undead Dino manages to take this high ground, buy this mill, and set up ferrets and poke from there. We never know. We'll see what the two here can manage to do. So far, no aggression from either side. They have both gone for 8 farms, unlike the first game where everything went very, very quick. 8 farms from both players. Very relaxed game so far. They are also quite far from each other, and there is a camp in here in the middle of the map, kinda persuading people to not play aggressively. One Warren going on for Jacoby here. Jacoby building near this high ground mill here. Probably looking to buy it and defend himself from this high ground location where the mill is. Meanwhile, Undead Dino here, building up his own Warren. Just squalls for now. And, ooh. I said just squalls, but look at that. That's an early ferret Warren from Dino. Jacoby sees it go down pretty much immediately. So that might give him option for doing a push of some kind here in the early stages of the game. But he decides to go for T2 of his own. He's going for Falcons this game. And the forward mill, as I was talking about it, claiming that high ground for himself, making it very hard to siege up that high ground because of the lack of vision they'll create. Mill going up here. 3 squall warrens and a ferret warren against a falcon, a pigeon, and 2 squall warrens. So far, Undead Dino will have his T2 out a little bit earlier here. He's going for his own mill here. However, that ferret will have to take out that cabin there before it can really get going. Second ferret is now up for Undead Dino. Only 1 falcon from Jacoby so far. And he's going for 2 farms. This might give an option to Undead Dino to push in a little bit here, or at least get some good ferret poke in here. The ferrets are taking shots here. The squalls managed to touch so far. He's setting up mines here, and in comes the falcon, but the falcon almost goes down here to the squalls there. And now Jacoby's mill takes 2 shots. 13 shots left, and he's gonna regen health. But so far, Undead Dino just pulls back here and decides to get 9 lizards. Lizards being pretty good at taking down falcons with pretty good damage. Jacoby's now moving up here, moving up to sit behind his own mines here. He's trying to get some poke in here. The mill again is now taking shots here. 40 damage on it so far. With a little bit of residual damage from before. In comes the fight here. Nope. Why can I hear voices in the background? It confuses me. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear some kind of voice and I don't know where it comes from. Oh well, I'll try to ignore it. Sorry about that. Well, let's see what goes on here. These ferrets here are again poking here. The moles are trying to kind of try to persuade the fairies not to shoot the mill here. The mills have taken heavy damage though. If this fairy poke keeps up here, this mill might go down, and if the mill goes down, it takes 2 shots more. It is very low health now, but here comes the engage here from Jacoby. Jacoby is tired of the poke here, and in comes the fight here. Let's see if the lizards have what it takes here. Skunk goes down here, but the falcons are still alive. And they have to go through the water here, meaning that the falcons can easily catch up and deal a huge amount of damage to this army here. The plan here from Dino is kind of falling a little bit apart here as Jacoby is now attacking. Oh, well, the mine explosions, but it's just not enough. It's not really dealing with the main threat here. These 2 falcons here are uncontested shooting at him. Skunk comes in here, it dies, but these falcons, again, really putting out a huge amount of DPS. Dino can't really stop it from happening. He has nothing that really is killing this army from Jacoby here. And Jacoby is just able to push in here. And while Dino did pull off some pretty good poke, he loses the game here, bringing it to a 1 versus 1. I don't know where those voices are from. Where is these voices coming from? I have nothing open, but... Where are these voices coming from? I'm so confused. I have no idea where these is from. It all plays stream on the front page. Yeah, that's neat and all, but like... I'm so confused about this. Alright, let's get into game 3, and I'll try to, You guys will have to deal with our game audio until I find out where those voices are from. There's no programs open on my computer that should be able to do that. Alright, well, I've muted the game audio for your viewing pleasure. I'm sorry about that. You have truly just gone insane. Very neat. Well, in the right side of the map here, we have Undead Dino playing as Quartermaster. In the left side, we have Jacoby. Let's just try and catch up to the live. They are very good at starting games very quickly. 8 farms from both players so far here. Alright, we've caught up to live. So far, the 2 players have not built anything. 1 warren coming up here from Jacoby, and Dino here is coming up with a warren of his own. Interested to see Frog plays counterplays. You mean Toads? Well, Toads have been picked by Undead Dino. Undead Dino is going for some very early snakes here. He's probably looking to get some snake poke off, and that'll be very interesting to see, in my opinion, here. Against Jacoby so far, is just went Pure Squalls, and Pure Squalls has historically been quite a good answer to snakes, especially if you mix some pigeons in. But we'll see if Dino can manage to pull off some tricks with the snake here that is now coming up. Snake up now. A mine is going up here right outside of Jacoby's base here, looking to probably explode on anything that tries to follow the snakes here. Really looks like Dino's setting up for some snake poke here, and he is moving forward with the snake here, looking like he's trying to get some damage done with some of the poison here. In comes the snake. 1 poison tag on the commander. 1 on the squall. 1 squall goes down here. And now the squalls run into the mine here. 1 squall goes down to the mine. That's so far 20 food advantage to Undead Dino here, who uses the mine here to cover the retreat of his snakes and makes it hard for Jacoby to retaliate. Snakes incoming here. Ooh, 4 attacks on the Warren. That means the Warren is going to go down. That's 60 food of value going straight into Dino. So far here, the poke from Dino here, the snake poke here with mines to cover him, has been very successful. In comes the snake poke here. Mole takes 3 attacks here. engage tries to happen here, but again, because of the mines here, they kind of covered here, and the fight here might not be as advantageous for Jacoby. Good fight here from Undead Diner that manages to poison the Falcon, just take it down here. The one snake gets to live here and gets to just try and tag as many things as possible to deal as much damage here. There's just not enough damage being taken down the pigeon healed snake so far. Toads come in here and explode on it. Very well, nice here. Snake down. Snake goes. Snake isn't going down here. It's just surviving because of the two pitches here healing in the back here. And now Undead Dino with a snake poke and the ability to take down and poison the enemy Falcons here are just running uncontested into Jacoby's space here. Some very aggressive play here today. That snake here managing to get so much value because of the pigeons just keeping it alive for so long. Well played. Well played on Undead Dino's part. He gets to win the second match here. 2-1. It seems that the background voices, which I have no ideas where come from, have stopped for now, and as thus I will give you game audio again. These games are going pretty fast. A lot of the good players in this game, especially in this patch, have really adopted a very aggressive style and have become quite good at exploiting any small weakness they see in their opponent's play, leading to very, very quick matches decided by pretty good play, in my opinion.
Ugly. I'd be careful there. No.
What am I hearing in the background again? Regardless, let us check Discord and see if we're ready for the next match here. Next match is already starting. These guys are way quicker than I am. Let us go in here and see Jacoby playing against Citizen Weasel. Jacoby against Citizen Weasel here. Citizen Weasel here starts on the right here, and there's a lot of water between these two here, with Jacoby on the left. All this water is going to make it so hard to push into Jacoby here. Jacoby does have a second mill here, meaning that Jacoby's base is pretty safe. On the other hand, it's also hard to get out of this water-infested area, meaning that if the game goes really, really late, Weasel with this mill and this one on the top here might actually get the advantage by making these two mills here very hard to take.
Before the Unbolted event, there was the butterfly event, right?
Why can I hear voice in the background again? I'm gonna have to mute it every time they appear. I'm sorry about that. So far, 8 farms from both players. No aggression from anyone as of yet. No aggression from either player yet. We'll see what happens between the two here. A Squall Warren's going up for Jacoby here. And on Citizen Weasel's side here, Squall Warren's too. Pretty standard play from both players here. But Weasel is building on this high ground here, which kind of tells you that he wants to build in this direction and go for this corner mill maybe. Or maybe this campfire here on this sneaky little hill over here. One mill going up for Jacoby here. Mine's going up here to prevent any sort of sneaky attack from Jacoby. Weasel here is just looking to play very defensively here. Jacoby is also going for his own second mill, so both players will have a second mill. And we're probably going to be looking at a longer game here. Likely inspired by this water making it so hard to get to the other person's base here. You don't want your army to get caught in the middle of all this ugly slowing water here. That will leave your army very exposed. Skunk's going up for both Jacoby and Weasel at pretty much the same time here. Jacoby's just started queuing up here, and Weasel's will come in approximately 5 seconds, so that one will be up. Weasel gone for 2 farms, while Jacoby's going for 3. So far, minor micro advantage to Citizen Weasel. No, I mean Jacoby. But Weasel's looking to go up on 3 farms too. So this is going to likely be a little bit of a longer, more slow game. Five farms against 6 farms here. We're playing a good old game of sit down and have a relaxing game of farming. Of course, both players are very carefully building these farms here. They're not just smacking them all random. They're looking at how many farms the opponent is smacking down and responding with similar amount of farms so that they don't waste too much food on farms and give the opponent an opportunity to go in on them. So far, both of them have a second mill full of farms and no real army from both. We have skunks and a few squalls from both, but that's pretty much it. No real army has been built, and no T3 has been smashed. Oh, wait. I said no T3, but a badger is coming up here from Jacoby. And we'll see what Weasel will do here. Does he know it exists? That is a good question here. If we just go to Weasel's perspective. Weasel does not know this T3 warrant exists yet, which means that Weasel has no idea that a T3 is coming, and he's building a boar of his own. We're going to see badger versus boar happen. Let us see if badger or boar will win this match. We see 6 falcons coming in from Jacoby too. Massive amount of air force ready to take down the border. Can't really hurt them. This might end up in one big fight. So far, both players are just taking it nice and slow, building up a lot of falcons. 6 falcons coming from Weasel too, with 6 falcons still coming from Jacoby. Jacoby will have the advantage of having his badger up approximately 20 seconds before before Weasel's boar. But is that enough to really make something happen here? Of course, Jacoby has to be careful that his badger doesn't step on all these dangerous mines here that Weasel have been spreading across the field here. Weasel is floating 240 food now. What will he spend them on? He's gonna build up a lot of pigeons here to support his boar. 12 pigeons so far here and up on 8 falcons, with Jacoby going for 10. A very falcon heavy game here. In comes the badger. The boar isn't up yet. The boar is gonna be up in approximately 15 seconds. Can Jacoby make damage happen before the boar comes in? Skunk Poke going down here. He steps on the mine here. In comes the fight. The boar isn't here yet. The boar has just spawned and is now walking towards the front line. Citizen Weasel can't fight without the boar, and he's gonna pull back here. And now the boar's in the fight, grilling the enemy team 1 here. But there's so many falcons here. Is it enough? Fight happened. The boar is going down, but a lot of falcons are going down here from Jacoby too. And Jacoby's T3 is still alive, but Jacoby's sent fleeing for now. Weasel, though, gets to lose a massive amount of warrants because his boar just wasn't there for the very start of that fight. Weasel sells his boar and now just goes for pure falcon squirrels himself. He's right here at the warrants edge, just scouting here, see if he can make anything happen. His army is in the water now. He's going to cross it. He's taking the mill here. He's looking to have an aggressive stance here. Engage happens between the two. Let's see how it goes down here. Badger is unharmed. Badger gets to completely rev up here. It takes some damage, but oh, it goes down. The Badger is down, but there's still a massive amount of army from Jacoby here. And Jacoby is able to now push forward with 4 falcons, skunk, massive amounts of pigeons, and a few squalls. Doesn't look like Weasel really has the armor to defend it, but we'll see what happens here. In comes the engage here. 1 falcon goes down here. Falcons from both sides are taking heavy damage here, but will it be enough? 1 falcon left from Jacoby now. 1 still there from... Ooh, is Weasel managing to pull it up? Weasel manages to barely defend. That 1 hero falcon gets to survive on 1 health with pigeon support. And now the game is being turned in Weasel's favor. And Weasel is now pushing forward to make a fight happen in Jacoby's base instead. Jacoby doesn't really have any falcons up yet here to defend. He has nothing that can hit air. All these falcons are cheering into the enemy pigeons. There is nothing to defend. Falcons are now coming up. 4 falcons pop out of their warrens, attack Weasel's army. Weasel's army instantly goes down. And Weasel is sent running with Jacoby now getting the tempo advantage. Will he use it to try and push it? Will he just take this mill and pull back for now? We'll see. Yes, he takes the mill and pulls back for now. What a game we have on our hands so far. Jacoby manages to hold on. Citizen Weasel also manages to hold on. What an insane game. Squall's now coming up here for Citizen Weasel here. It's hard to tell who's ahead, but let's look at the graphs real quick here. We see the army value is in Jacoby's favor here. But if we look at the income here, it is slightly in Citizen Weasel's favor. So far I'd say that Jacoby right now is ahead with the superior army of 10 Falcons. But no squalls from Jacoby, and Weasel does have squalls, and squalls having with no counters against squalls in Jacoby's army. Those squalls will likely be very effective from Weasel's side. Will it be enough to bring him a victory? He is moving forward here. He's looking to fight. Pigeon goes down here. The fight comes in here. And let's see what happens between the two. Falcons are dealing damage here, but it seems like Weasel just can't really deal with the massive amount of Falcon Jacoby has here. The mill doesn't really get to tank any damage, but 2 Falcons, a few pitches, and a Squall gets to survive, while Citizen Weasel is now starving and out of farms, while Jacoby has this 1 farm to sit back on. Weasel in a not that good a situation here, looking for a food source. He loses a Squall. He uses 2 Squalls to this. He loses 2 Squalls to that campfire. He has no real army to speak of. Jacoby still looking at having 5 Falcons to his name. And just a little bit more economy than Weasel. Going for that second farm there. I don't think Weasel can really push in here on these 4 Falcons. And Weasel is looking like he's in a pretty bleak situation here. He's going for a mill of his own, trying to maybe set up some economy again here, but he does have to be careful because Jacoby does have quite the scary army compared to Weasel's with only 2 Falcons against 4 on this side. Mole Warren coming up here from Jacoby here, probably looking to deal some good old damage on the enemy mill here, but we'll see. 1 farm coming up here from Weasel. The 2 of them should soon be even, Nico, but Jacoby built another farm, and so Jacoby right now is 1 farm ahead until Weasel gets that other second farm going here. Sells the Mole Warren there. Moves up and builds a 4th farm there, and Weasel only has 2 farms here and a 3rd one from this campfire here, meaning that will bring up Jacoby up to a 1 farm advantage. What a game so far, but I don't think it was looking very good for Weasel here, who's just that 1 farm behind and behind on army at the same time. Weasel manages to sell his Falcons right as Jacoby moves up to aggressively pose on the hill. Weasel going for 18 Squalls, hoping that these Squalls can fend off the enemy Falcons here. Jacoby here really scouting ahead, seeing it, look if he can find an opportunity to attack here. But so far, nothing yet. Massive amount of Squalls from Weasel here. Squalls do quite well against Falcons, but in this amount here, I'm not sure the Squalls will be enough. Still a 1 farm deficit for Weasel, and he's going to go up here on a farm? No. He's 2 farms behind now. This farm deficit here, this economy deficit compared to Jacoby here, is just not looking good. He does go ahead with a Squall here. Fight almost breaks out here, but not quite. Weasel building another farm here to get even, but Jacoby's still 1 farm ahead still. That 1 farm ahead, as always. 1 Squall goes down here with no losses on Jacoby's end here. Weasel sells one of his farms, now 2 farms behind, with almost 3 with another going up here. Jacoby so far is dominating this game, making it really hard for Weasel. Some of these Squalls do get caught in the middle, 2 of them going down, 3 of them going down with no losses. And now in comes the engage here, 1 Falcon going down here, but Weasel's army just immediately goes down. And so the win goes to Jacoby. First win of this match here goes to Jacoby, and it's now 1-0 for Jacoby. Well played. Those were some pretty exciting games that went very back and forth here. We'll see how they will go in match 2 and make things happen. Jacoby spawns in the top right here with Weasel in the bottom left. A little bit of a similar map here with these 2 mills in the center. Some water here to play around with. Lots of water on this map in general, but only really this here between the 2. Very awkward base here that might be vulnerable to some low ground flying vision poke from here or something along those lines, but we'll see what happens. Not a lot of good expansion options for Weasel. Weasel's kind of forced to expand very forward here. with Jacoby having the option to expand to this much safer mill here. This cliff wall here between this and the close space here is not really that good for Weasel. He has a little bit of an isolated base here, isolated from other mills, but he's going for the early aggression. 5 farms, 2-1. Squirrels already moving aggressively ahead here. And 6 farms and 2-1s from Jacoby here, looking similarly to pull off some aggression here. We'll see what happens. Citizen Weasel gets to poke ahead at those warns now, but I don't think they'll go down here. Not before Jacoby gets some squirrels on his own. He has 1 squirrel up here. Alright, it's 2 squirrels against 2 squirrels here, but the advantage is so far to... Ooh, Commander goes down for Weasel. Can he, however, take down that... No. 2 squirrels are still coming in here. They pull back. That Warren gets to barely live with very low HP. And the advantage so far is to Jacoby, that now has a 2-farm advantage here with no real successful aggression from Citizen Weasel here. That is just going for free farms, not having much, free warns without much farms. Jacoby is now on 8 farms, and Weasel is going on 7 now. So Weasel has a 1 squirrel higher army, but the economy is in Jacoby's favor, and Jacoby does have that economical advantage to try and win the game from. He does go for an early mill. He's going for the forward mill instead of the safer side mill here, probably to pressure Citizen Weasel here. If he can trap him in this corner and make him unable to take this forward mill because his army pressures him, it's going to be a very, very tough game for Weasel. Weasel goes for his skunks here to try and get some tech down. Jacoby also has going for his skunks, and they're pretty much going to get up at approximately the same time. Maybe a few seconds difference, but not enough for it to matter. Again, we're looking at a little bit of advantage here from Jacoby, and this aggressively taken mill here might prove to be very hard for Weasel to deal with, as he might be able to lock Weasel in this corner. So far, we've gotten into a more quiet phase of the game here. Both players now have 1 skunk up, and as we see here, Jacoby is going for a Falcon Warren on the side too. Getting a little bit of tech advantage here, while Weasel, while even on farms now, seems slightly behind here. We'll just look here. Army value is actually to Weasel, but that's because most of the army here from Jacoby is in that Warren, and he's going for free farms. In comes the skunk poke here. The 2 of them are just poking at each other. No real engagement. Weasel looking to take this forward mill here, and we'll likely be seeing some quite the fighting between the 2 here. Skunks coming forward to poke once more, but these 2 skunks can't. These 2 armies here can't really engage on each other currently. Weasel going up on free farms of his own, and we have a similar situation to the end of last game, where the 2 have mills that are very close to each other, but are having trouble really getting any engages done. Molt's coming up for Jacoby here. Still, Jacoby does have that advantage. He has the Falcons up here. If we look at the graphs real quick here, we can see that his income is slightly higher now that he has... Wait, where did he get... Oh, Weasel sold one of his farms. That's why he has the income. In comes the fight here. Damage goes down in the mill. These skunks now go to poke here. Does the mill go down? The mill goes down here. He just gets to tank the damage here. Will the advantage that Jacoby has been building up matter that much? Yes, it will. These Falcons here doing great damage to the enemy army. And Weasel is now trapped in his corner here with moles knocking on the door, using the building crit to really push forward and deal massive damage here. Citizen Weasel is really having hard dealing with this push here. A lot of his warns have gone down here. It seems like a really bleak situation. He has only that Falcon and a skunk left here. Jacoby's running straight into his base here. Moles are critting the mill here, and down goes Citizen Weasel. And now it is a 2-0 for Jacoby, and Jacoby manages to take a victory. Well played on Jacoby's part for deflecting the early game attack from Weasel and managing to pull together a win. Well played. I will look up what the next match will be, and the next match will be. Let's have a look here at the 21 Rooms Adventure. Alright, the next one will likely be Master Stealth against someone. I forgot who. But we'll see. We will see. I'm still having voices in the background. I am going crazy slowly. Alright, I found the document which will explain what's going on here. The fourth match will be Chip versus Weasel? No, it has to be like... okay, I get to stream all the image. It'll be Dino versus Master. Master known as the one of the developers on this game here, and he's known for being very fond of mines. Specifically, a lot of people have been bullying him, me included, for his unconventional use of mines. But we'll see if he manages to pull off any shenanigans with those mines that'll surprise Dino and take him down. Gonna test something real quick. My sound setting in general is just weird. I think I have a solution to our problem here. So apparently the sound system on my PC is being buggy. So I've transferred the sound of the voices to my TV, muted my TV, and kept the other audio in my headphones, which I will now be able to broadcast without any voices to you out there on the stream. You can now have game audio again. I will, however, take a small break as I wait for the next match. I'll be needing to grab some water because this can is empty. I'll be right back. I hope you enjoyed the fight so far, and let me know who you think will win in Dino against Master Stealth. Maybe I should have done a player interview or something of the sort. It'd be pretty nice to bring in one of them players and have a little bit of a Q&A with them while we wait. Now, maybe I would be tempted to do that, depending on if either Jacoby or Weasel is here. I don't know, do you want to come and have a little bit of a word with me on stream? I promise I won't bully you, not this time. Bully you later. By the way, we are still waiting for the next match, which is still Dino versus Master. Dino versus Master. Tell you all, the game going on in the other stream now is quite the slow one. I'm sorry for the delay that it is causing, and I'm sorry for the wait. However, we will soon have Dino versus Master coming up on this stream. Hope you all are excited for when that happens. I am not sorry, apparently, according to Lord Friendly. Well, I don't know, I do want to stream something. However, right now we are just waiting for Big Pimpintosh and Undead Dino, aka Red Dino, to finish a quite long match. I'm casually watching it on the side, and I recommend you guys have a look too. Oh, and of course return to here because I do want viewers myself. So do come back here, please, and thanks. So far, we're 10 minutes into the game on the other stream here, and not much has happened. There's been some fights, but none of them are really in a position to do anything aggressive. Long game on the other stream. 13 minutes and going. And we're seeing owls and badgers. So, long game. It's going to take a while before that is done. Looks like that game is reaching a sort of climax now, 14 minutes into the game, and there's a surrender and a win for Big Image. Alright, with that, it is likely that Dino will jump into our lobby again here, and we're looking for a Dino versus Master Stealth. With that, I think it is time for us to switch back here so you guys can see me on camera here and actually see the gameplay here. I should probably have a better casting oriented overlay here, but as you can see, people are coming into the lobby now. We have Undead Dino, and Master Stealth will soon join us with his unconventional scouting mines, as he likes to call them, and mole shields. Master Stealth is here, and the game is about to start. We are now in Army Select. Get ready for the game. Undead Dino here looking at picking Owl once again. Owl already can seems to be a strategy that Dino's favoring here, while Master here is going for his signature scouting mines and Ham plus Falcon. See how that works out here. In the right side of the map here we have Master Stealth, and in the left side, top left here, we have Undead Dino. A lot of mills here over on Master Stealth's side here, with one on the high grounds pretty safe, with these two a little bit less safe. A good amount of water between the two here, and two safe mills here over here for Dino that might be open to some kind of Camry. So we might see chameleons getting quite used in this match here, but look at that aggressive placement here with Master trying to mine the Warrens. Very cute, but he does. Oh, and Undead Dino just rebuilds to Squall Warrens here. The mine is still up though, and Master's on 8 farms and has nothing to really do anything against this. He's just trying to place mines, but mines can't alone do this. A pig takes down the mine, and now Master's looking and having no army, no anything against incoming squirrels. This is a strategy waiting to be written. Mines are going up, but it's too late. These squirrels are here to destroy them before they're going up. Mines down. One warren up for Master. That warren, though, is getting poked by 2 squirrels, with 2 more coming in to join. Tempo is heavily in Undead Dino's favor, who's now going to take that tempo to take out 1 pig. 2nd pig going down for Master. 3rd pig here being hurt now. 3rd pig, oh, it's alive, it's down. 3rd pig going down for Master before, and he still continues to attack here. Commander goes down though, but I don't think there is anything to stop these squirrels from just working on their own. Taking down a warren and a squirrel there, and now Master is on heavily on the back foot here with and Undead Dino and Master both having 3 warrens, but Undead Dino being so much ahead by 3 farms in economy. And his army size is larger. He's going to try and use it. He's going to pick up another farm. He's just using that huge tempo advantage he has to take down 2 more farms to get even further ahead, because Master did not respect the early game from Dino, and he has to surrender the first game. The first game goes to Dino 1-0. Yeah, already quickly get... Oh, no. Oh, no. Undead Dino picking the pile deck extraordinaire with 5 structures and a lizard. Not even the usual moles that you see in a pile deck or anything like that. Just 5 structures and lizards. What a meme. Going up against Master, who starts here in the left side of the map here against Undead Dino in the right side here. Loss of Hill, a very interesting cliff right here, but with some good expansions that Dino can easily take here and just build a lot of lizards here. But does he have like a round way? He does have a little bit of a round way here, so he does have a little bit of a map that could maybe favor lizards a bit, but I don't think it's open enough for Undead Dino really to get a lot of Lizard shenanigans going down here, and Lizards are his only unit in his deck. The rest are defensive structures. Or aggressive structures, depending on how you look at it. Master Stealth building up to 7 farms. Dino also has 7 farms. No aggression from either player yet. 8 farms from Dino and 8 from Master. Exactly. It is quite the off. Master Stealth going for the early mine as per usual. It's not Master without an early dumb mine. Let's see what Dino makes happen here. Dino so far has not built anything. 2 Lizard ones coming down. And a Master Mine. And Dino just kind of ignores it, just builds on the other side of it. And just, man. 2 Skull ones coming up here, and still that mine there. We'll see what happens. More mines coming up from Master, who just sells both of them. No more mines on this field. Well, there's still that one here. Toad's coming up from Master here, making it quite hard for the Lizards to push in there. Did Dino see that one Toad? That one Toad was kind of hidden in the grass here, so he might have missed it. Maybe. Mine's coming up here from Dino too, but I don't think one mine is enough to really stop these Toads from exploding on your Lizards. Mine going up here on the other side here, along with the cabin. This might be able to defend the left side here, while the right side is going to probably have some structures on it. Yeah, there we go. 1 MG going down here. Dino, another mine. Mill going up for Master here. We're looking at them having combat in this little in-between area here, which isn't really that favorable for Lizards to take fights in, especially not considering that Toads exist. And Master now has the option to go in here. He goes in and picks out a few Lizards here. The Lizards here have to run back, and Master gets that advantage here because the Lizards can't really answer the poke here. If they go in, they'll die to the Toads. Yes, 5 defensive structures. This is what we call a meme. I don't think Dino is taking this game as seriously because how hard he won against Master, but Master does want to win. He's trying to go for a balloon here. In comes the fight, but these Toads here just can't. Ooh, very nice micro, but micro still isn't enough. It's just too many Toads to deal with, and Undead Dino just can't really do anything against the Toads. The Toads are just completely sowing his army. He comes again here, but the Toads just take out a huge amount of Lizards here and make Undead Dino unable to really accomplish much with his Lizards army against them. Toads blow up again here. Master actually pulling out some pretty good micro, holding back his Toads and just waiting for Lizards to engage. Lizards can't really do anything. Middle going up for Dino once more. Forward here comes his Master's army here. He has 6 Toads again. The Toads are running in there, exploding on the Warren using the building crit. Building crit taking out a lot of those Warrens. The Toads just went in there. They get an explosion on the Lizards too, and the Lizards just can't do anything, and Master takes the second game. 1-1 for... Yeah, well, it's a tie now at this point. 1-1, 2E both players. Guess we're gonna need a glass of water before the third match here begins. Third game. Masters was under Dino 1-1. Let's see what happens in the last game. Dino picks a little bit more of a serious deck this time. In the right side of the map here, we have Master here playing as Spellfight. And in the bottom left, we have Under Dino playing as the Quartermaster. Let us see, we have a big open space here with only like a few cliffs and hills, a few rocks, not that much interesting here. Just a lot of open space, and the both bases are on hills with a little bit of a tricky terrain here. So the middle itself is open, but the bases do have a little bit of terrain for the players to work around. So far, ooh, aggression. We have a very forward Squall Warren. Master didn't bring mines this game. Is this gonna work? Is Master gonna fall to the squall aggression once more, or has he learned his lesson? The second squall is coming in here. There are 2 squalls up here. Will Dino try to make anything work here? He is kind of standing there waiting. But Master does have 1 squall of his own and almost 2. But Dino has 2 warns while Master only has 1. Master's just only now just getting his second. So he does have the advantage. He does get to take a pick down. He attacks here. The squalls go down. Now he has free range to shoot at this pick here. He does get a second pick. And now he runs away with 2 squalls still alive. Master takes a loss in this fight. And now it's probably, yeah, it's his advantage to Dino here with army lead and similar eco. Though Master is going for the 6th farm while Dino's going up on more squalls to try and really push in here. Here comes the second fight here. Dino's commander takes a lot of damage, but here comes the fight here. A lot of damage goes down on Master Squalls here before the fight he have. And now he takes a fight outside of his pig's range. Dino manages to win this fight here, go in here and hurt the building farm. Take down that farm. That's 60 food down for Master. Takes down another squall here, and now he's using that advantage to try to push into his warren. 1 squall goes down here to Master Squalls. That warren is now a little bit under half health here. Dino has so many low health squalls, and now they're going down here. I don't know if Dino will be able to pull this off. Ooh, that warren has basically no health, and there goes the warren. Now Dino's looking at a huge advantage with 2 warren lead. 2 warren and a farm now. He's also going to attack this next one here, deal a lot of damage to it. The squalls are in range of the pigs, but he does manage to take down that, and Boston only has 1 warren that isn't even completed now. And now Dino's using his huge tempo advantage to just take down Master. And so in comes the aggressive squall play once more, and Dino managed to take 2 out of his 3 games against Master with squall aggression. So it's showing that you have to respect the early warns coming up from other players. If you do not respect the early warns, then they will punish you and you will lose the game. Good job on the Dino's part for winning the games. 2-1 for Dino. Right, we're looking at Undead Dino versus Lieutenant Weasel next. We've seen one game with Lieutenant Weasel against Jacoby where they had some boar versus badger shenanigans going on with like a very, very close game between the two. That was very exciting to watch here, but now it's Weasel against Dino. And we see this deck here from Dino. The Dino's been picking quite a lot this tournament here with balloons and ferrets and owls. Against Weasel here, the picks again. Skunk Falcon. Seems to be liking that Skunk Falcon deck here, but what will he pick as a 16? We see Badger coming up from Weasel instead of the boar that he was using earlier. Wait, no, he's changing his mind. He's going for the owl. Let the game begin. In the bottom left here, we have Citizen Weasel playing as Hopper. And in the right side of the map here, we have Undead Dino. Look at all this huge choke point between the two here. You can walk through this dense forested area here with all these houses and stuff, but look at how look at how small the path is. This is a huge choke point. It's gonna be very hard to push into, and we'll likely be seeing these two players forced to go for this top of the map with maybe some sneaky shenanigans going on through this tiny choke here at the bottom of the map here. This is a very interesting map, but is an advantage to Dino here, getting milked pretty close to a starting one, with Weasel having to cross this bridge over the water to go up here towards the top. Interesting map. We'll see how it happens here with the with the very tight passes between the two. Under Dino going for aggression again. Under Dino has been very successful here, but Weasel does build his own Squall Warrens. Will it be enough though? Like, Under Dino has a lot of squalls up already, and Weasel is not prepared. Commander does go down though, and that means that a lot of squalls will just die to the opposition here. And that might mean that Weasel will be okay for now, at least. He's coming through the tight choke here. He is seeing that that there might be an opportunity to attack here, but no, he retreats again. This choke point here is actually being traversed quite a lot. Can he get some shots in on these squalls while they're traveling around the corner? He does get to pick off one as it travels around the corner, but that is not enough to really accomplish any sort of push here. 8 farms from Weasel brings him ahead here, and Under Dino is now only just now going for his 8. Skunk's going up for Weasel. If he gets Skunks, this choke point will be so hard to push through for any squall. Any T1 will just melt in the presence of skunk gas in this choke here, making it so that if Weasel gets any skunks up, this choke here is not a viable place to fight at all. T2 coming up for Dino here, going for the ferrets. Ferret poke through these walls here might be very interesting to look at. But again, Weasel also does have the skunks here to try and fend off the ferrets. Not the best to do so, but on this map here, ferrets might actually be really, really good. This is a super interesting little choke for them to play around. I am very excited to see what happens here. Under Dino goes for the mill here, and his ferret has queued up. Citizen Weasel, though, has 2 skunks right now. And now he has the tech advantage. Will he use it to push forward? He is going to go forward. He is moving forward there. One of the skunks are lacking a little bit behind. But he is looking to skunk poke here with pigeons to heal his army. Here goes the skunk poke. Yeah, damage is going down here. And the skunks do manage to just kind of push away the enemy army. The squalls can't really get through all of these skunk gas here. Skunks, though, get picked off completely as they try to gas the pigs instead. This mill does go down, but Weasel is sent running, and Under Dino's chasing him through the choke point. Nope, he cancels that now, tries to just rebuild his mill. The loss of T2 is pretty heavy for Weasel here, though, and now comes the ferrets in to revenge with a little bit of poke here. Ooh, damage goes down here. 1 T1 down, 2 T1s down. Warren almost at 3 T1s, 4 T1s. 80 food deficit here caused by the ferrets so far. 100 food and value coming here just from the poke. And a Warren, that's 160 worth of food so far. In comes the engage here. Poke down. The squad's gonna come in here. Toads run in, but they don't really get to explode here. Unfortunate engagement, really. And the enemy toads do get to take out a massive amount of squalls here. Ooh, and the skunk gets taken down by the ferret here. Of these slow-hole skunks here from Under Dino trying to push forward here. And this is, again, really looking advantageous for Under Dino that has just managed to get so much value of this ferret push. In comes the skunks here. Skunk gas, again, in this choke is still very, very scary. But these ferrets are very threatening to the skunks. If those ferret shots land, ooh, one of them land there and the skunk takes 10 damage. Very, very dangerous. Let's have a little bit of look at the graph while we can here. Army value advantage 2 Under Dino. But again, these skunks in the choke might be very hard to get past. One shot goes down the skunk here, bringing it a little bit low on health. Balloon going up here in the choke, making it so hard for Weasel to answer these ferrets that are just poking away. 1 T1 goes down again. Weasel, though, is going for falcons. Ooh, are the skunks gonna get caught out here? No, they're not. A lot of T1 taking damage, but none of them really going down here. Let's have a little bit of look at the graph here. Income so far is advantage to Dino. Weasel, though, also disadvantages on army, so Weasel's not looking good. In comes Poke here, and another Warren goes down. Falcon's now moving over to take down those ferrets there and stop their Poke, but really, this game is heavily advantaged in Dino's favor, and he's pushing up with balloons here, trying to gain more ground, which he can easily poke from, and at this point, Weasel surrenders to Dino, and Undead Dino has won the first game of this match. Alright, let's see how it goes here in the next match. In the next game between Weasel and Undead Dino here. Boar coming out again for Weasel. Weasel does seem to like Boar. Undead Dino here with Snakes and Owl and Artie Cat. Very interesting. On the left side here we have Citizen Weasel. On the right side we have Undead Dino. Interesting map here so far. Undead Weasel, Citizen Weasel there does have a very safe expansion. So does Undead Dino. So there'll likely be a lot of fighting for these free mills in the middle, but Undead Citizen Weasel will, if he grabs this, have better access to the Spurt Mill than Undead Dino will have any access. We will see what happens between the two, and Artie Cannon could also just put massive pressure on this map. We will see how it turns out. So far, no aggression from both of them. We'll just have built farms so far. This is a little bit of a big map. It doesn't look like aggression will be that successful here, so both players realizing this are just going to farm so far. 8 farms from both players, no aggression. Both of them are building scrolls. Pretty standard play so far. We might be looking at waiting for some T2 to happen before the game will for real get started. Early mill from Citizen Weasel. With early T2 from Dino in the form of snakes. Very clever play here. Undead Dino's using the high ground advantage against the cabin here to try and take it down early and possibly grab some eco from it. Dino does see here that the Citizen Weasel has built a mill already, and Dino now kind of has to either to build his own or make some kind of attack happen. One farm coming down here from Weasel, but he's not ahead in farms because this campfire here is going to make this an equal economy so far. Tech advantage so far is also going to go to the Undead Dino that does have a snake up and the ability to maybe even make some poke happen. Commander's poison, but it doesn't die. Command Hopper barely survives that. Snake coming in here to deal with the cabin here, putting some snake tax on it. That cabin is very dead. Alright, second snake is up here. And Undead Dino might be looking at making some poke happen, but he's running into these mines with the snakes possibly. That could be very, very dangerous. Ooh, explosion on the snake. It doesn't really get caught out though. So far Undead Dino is fine. He is living. But again, he doesn't have a second mill. And Citizen Weasel is now going one farm above the amount Undead Dino has. So he has to make use of these campfires here, or he will be behind on eco. When it comes to poke here, 2 stats going on a warren and 1 on a squirrel here. Nothing will die because of the pigeons here from Weasel, but there will be dealt damage to that warren, which might matter. Mill coming up here from Undead Dino, which is not going for the safe mill here, but it's going for the less expected one. Big damage going down on the commander here, not enough to take it down, of course, but it's gonna be very hard for Dino to poke up the hill. Not only up the hill, but also that the hill has mines on it. So if any of the snakes step on those mines here, they'll not only take a huge amount of damage, they'll also take this slow, and it'll be easily caught out. T3 coming up from Dino in the form of owls. 1 owl, so far, slowly being built. He's still at an eco deficit of now 2 farms. His Citizen Weasel is building his fort here. And he's going for 2 of his own, so he has 2 farm plus this campfire, which will bring him up to a even economy here if we look at the graph. But Weasel has had an economy advantage for quite a while now, meaning that he's really ahead there. And he's ahead in army value too. The economy there is showing that his strong economy is showing that he has a little bit more of army value, which might matter a lot. But here comes Undead Dino's Owl. Owl has been queued. If that Owl safely gets up here, then Undead Dino will have a good tech advantage. And he's going to go for an Arty Cannon due to make it really, really difficult to push in. Enemy army incoming here. Gets caught out a little bit here. The snakes here trying to fend off the skunks here. But in comes the engagement here. And Citizen Weasel might be looking at just the right engagement to take this down. This Arty Cannon is not going to go up at all. In comes the skunk gas. The skunk gas manages to deal so much damage. But the snakes, for now, do manage to fend it off here. Big losses on Dino's side. Loses this Arty Cannon and a lot of army. And Undead Dino is going to get pushed by Weasel again, who just has so many skunks at this point here. And there's no real anti-team 1 for Weasel here. Weasel can't really... I mean, for Dino can't really answer it. Owl is up, but is the Owl really going to be able to turn this game? The longevity brought by the enemy Pigeon army might just be too much, and I don't really think that Citizen Weasel will be stopped. This push is going to keep going on. The snake goes down here. Dino's 1 Owl is just not enough to stop it. It is not spawning enough mice to stop the assault from Citizen Weasel, and we are now in a 1-1 scenario. They are now tied, and they're looking for the tiebreaker game in their best of. Alright, let's get going. Undead Dino picking Fox this time around. We haven't yet to see Fox being really used here, but of course it is a very useful unit and can pull off some pretty strong pros. If that cannon came in early, it might indeed have been able to make a difference, but it didn't get up in time and thus went down. Alright, we have Undead Dino in the top side of the map here, and in the bottom side we have Citizen Weasel. Let's have a little look here. Some pretty oddly shaped hills in front of Weasel's base here, and nearest mill. Look, there's nothing in this area. The nearest mill is all the way up here, and Dino gets to have a mill this close. I think the map gods do not like Weasel right now. Look at how far he has to run to get to any mills with all these hills in the way, and that's going to be a tough map for Weasel to expand on, and thus he might be forced to do some kind of aggressive play. Speaking of aggressive play, Undead Dino is going for a very early Squall Warren here, with Weasel answering with a Squall Warren of his own. Ooh, mines. One's going to go down here. I don't really think much aggression is going to come out of it, but we do have 2 Squall Warrens from Undead Dino, so you might be looking at trying to make some shenanigans happen. You're lying, Jen. Master cannot be leading. That's just not important. That's not true. Don't believe it. Mine's getting spotted. Has to be sold. Weasel here is going to deny it getting up. Weasel here is building a warren here. And some defensive mines of his own. What is he planning? Enemy squalls incoming. Those mines will go up in time, though, and I don't think Undead Dino has what it takes to, with this low amount of squalls, push through the mines up here. In comes the skunks here from Citizen Weasel. Skunk Squirrel going up for Citizen Weasel with Ferret and Squirrel from Undead Dino here. And with this very hilly and awkward terrain, it might be good to have both ferrets and skunks, to be honest. We might be looking at a similar scenario to the first game in that choke. However, the distance between these 2 bases is much, much longer. There's much, much more breathing room between the 2. 4 coming up for Weasel here. Jet did speak of the Very strong one-base play potential of Weasel's deck, and that Boar Rush might just be what Weasel needs to make a one-base play happen. Mine's coming up from Undead Dino here, who's going to try to poke behind his mines with ferrets. And Citizen Weasel will not have Falcons up quite yet, so it might be hard to defend himself against the ferret poke incoming from Undead Dino. Ooh, mine goes down for the ferret poke here. More ferret pokes coming down here. Ooh, Squirrels narrowly dodge it. Alright. Ooh, several T1s go down there to the ferret poke, but now he has a Falcon, and Falcon gives him a lot more option to fend against the ferrets trying to push him in. On the Dino now goes for 4 Falcons of his own. Does he maybe know the boar's coming? Let us really quickly check here. If we go to perspective of Dino. Dino does not know about the T3. He has not seen it yet. He's just mining around the map here, ensuring that no sneaky actions going on here. He does not know about the board. He has not seen it. The board's about 20 seconds away from coming up here. The board might be able to take Undead Dino by surprise. In comes the poke here from the ferrets. Takes down the Squall. That board still dangerously close to coming up here. 5 seconds or so. Boar's gonna hit the field right now. Boar's up here, and that gives Weasel the opportunity to push out. Undead Dino only has 2 Falcons, with a third one coming up here, and one of them being supply blocked until now. And in comes the Boar here, ready to roast some T1. Steps on the mine, but it's not enough to really stop it. It roasts a lot of T1. The Boar's still up here, has a lot of health. Nothing is really stopping it. The Falcons here try to attack the Squirrels in the back line, but the Falcon Squirrels here is enough to take down those Falcons without any T1 support from Dino, because they hold the grill. And now in comes the strength of the one-base Boar push. And down goes the Falcon here for Undead Dino. And Citizen Weasel might just be able to take this game with a one-base Boar push. Despite all the ferret poke coming down from Undead Dino, Citizen Weasel managed to set up his Boar, take down the enemy Falcons, and managed to push himself to victory. Very well played from both Weasel and Undead Dino, but very well played from Weasel. It manages to take the map disadvantage and go with a strong one-base play to take down the enemy with a good Boar. Very nice. Let me see what Gentleman says the next game will be. We shall wait patiently, and hopefully not as long as last time. See what the Gentleman says, what the next match will be. Lesson to be learned, always scout your opponent. Indeed, Undead Dino had not seen the Boar Warren come down. He might have been able to expect the T3 based on the amount of units he was seeing from you, but he did not know what T3 was coming, if anything. So the Boar, the unspotted, unscouted Boar, manages to push in and make a victory happen. Weasel, do you want to do a little bit of a player interview? You know, just to give some people some insight on all of it while we're waiting. What do you think? How's that sound? Sure, I'll be up for it. Alright, let's just see what the Jen has to say here. I'll give Mr. Weasel a little bit of a Discord call. We'll have him give some commentary on his matches. Let's get going. Weasel, welcome on stream.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, could you maybe you have to speak up a little bit louder. I'll try to get you your volume up here.
Alright, is it working now? Move my mic closer as well, just to be sure.
Kind of, but I will have to turn down 2 from the other one. Let me open my volume mixer here and run over and Alright, there we go. Now we should be able to hear you. Hello, Weasel. How was it playing these matches here? We saw some pretty good, strong board push from you in the last game here. We saw some fun choke play in the first game where both you and...
Oh, yeah.
That was a very interesting map to watch.
Yeah, though I wasn't expecting the fact that there would be a second path, which really just threw off what I was planning on doing. Because usually something like that is just expecting the map gen to be like, okay, this is just closed off, but that plus Dino constantly going the other way just made me think, okay, that's just closed off. And I really just couldn't do anything against that ferret poke in that area. I think this is one of the first maps I've seen that actually really play to, or in a while that I've actually played to ferret strengths.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember having played on actually a similar map before, but maps with a long choke like that really favor units like ferrets and skunk, but especially ferret because it's so hard to answer the ferret poke when your units have to go around so many obstacles on the way over there.
Yeah. And on the second game, let me just look at the replay just so I can remember, because it's been several games at this point.
Of course, take your time.
Yeah, I just need to look at the map. Yeah, in the second game, I definitely felt Dino got a little too cocky with his build there. He seemed like he was going a little memey rather than, regular meta.
Well, we've seen that. We've seen that from Dino against Master 2 when he went for the so-called pile deck.
How did that go, by the way? I didn't actually see that match.
He built only lizards, and he saw toads, and then he exploded.
Oh yeah, I think I saw just a small clip of that. But yeah, the second game was just my build was just better than his, because by the time that he got his matriarch out, I already had 4 skunks, and there was just really nothing he could do at that point, especially with the fact that I had the momentum, and matriarch really needs momentum to get going. And if you just continue pushing the matriarch, she can't do anything.
Of course not, and you did
3 squirrels isn't really enough.
Indeed, and you managed to definitely make that tempo advantage you have there work and just push in for the win. Any commentary you want to give on the board push we saw here in the last game?
It was... Yeah, I basically saw my position, and I realized it was in a very tight jam, and I needed to do something fast. Because I would never be able to hold a second mill. I had to be very aggressive. So, I was definitely hoping that he wouldn't push in. I was using my mines just in case. I was glad that it was ferret and not skunk. Skunk probably would have been much more intimidating in this sense, because he's fighting uphill with ferrets, which is not really their best position, because they're vulnerable, you're vulnerable, and the rest of your army is... It takes a lot of micromanaging to begin with, but when it's uphill, it's even worse.
Indeed. What do you then think of the current patch? What do you think of the changes to Toad as an example? Any units you think are too good?
I'd say I'm a bit mixed when it comes to this patch, and I definitely feel like a lot of the problems of earlier patches really come into have really just been exacerbated. So I'm just not really a big fan of it. It might be that I'm just not really good at this patch. Like I don't get it, but I just don't find it as fun because a lot of the time I like. I mean, a lot of the earlier patches I was able to really experiment, but right now the meta is really just a little too stale for me. Like for example, those ferrets, even though they was good in the second game, I generally find pretty much useless in most games, along with a lot of other units, which is really sad.
Alright, what do you think of the controversial change to Warren HP now being below 40?
Actually, I'm okay with it. I don't think it did its intended purpose though, because it was made to make it let the game less defensive. But even though the Warren health is decreased, you still have the defender's advantage, even with that health decrease. So it really doesn't solve the problem that they were trying to solve.
What do you think the effect of lower HP Warrens has then been on the game?
I think it definitely has made it so that you can't just instantly turn things around by being at Warrens. Like when you retreat back to your base after a failed fight, you can't just hide in your Warrens and, wait it out. But as I said before, you can still use it to hide behind, and just a few shots is enough to turn the tides, especially if your armies are of equal value.
Well, you all heard it from Weasel this time around. Thank you for answering the questions, Weasel, and that was some pretty good insight from you. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope so. I've been playing this game for a while, so.
Well, same
if
here.
I haven't learned,
and I'm
if I haven't learned anything, I'd be very sad.
Good. Well,
right.
I'm happy to have had you on the show here, and I will probably disappear for now. Thank you for
All right.
for your time.
It's fun.
Goodbye. There you go. That was a little bit of a interview with Weasel there. I hope you enjoyed the insight that he had to give to you all. And I think I'll end the stream now. Big Pimpintosh here will still be doing the final match of this tournament there. So if you all want to watch that, I will try and actually send you in his direction by giving him a little bit of a raid, right? He'll regret criticizing the patch. We'll see about that, Weasel, but there you have Weasel's opinions on current patch, and I of course asked him about the controversial changes such as the more HP, so that's what he does. That is what he thinks of it so far. Let me send you all over to WittyPun's channel. Everyone get ready to raid him so far. I'll send you over there, and hope you enjoy your time watching what he's got going on over. Goodbye for now.